Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this makeup look, so keep watching to find out what I used and how I did it. Okay, so I went ahead and did my skin and my base already. So I'm wearing the NARS Long Lasting Radiant Foundation in the shade Vienna, and Makeup Revolution cream contour and blush and everything else. But today what I'm going to be doing is focusing on my eyes. So I'm going to be taking the Vieve, which is a new brand by Jamie Genevieve, and I'm going to be looking at the Essential Collection palette, which I'm super excited about. First impressions is the palette is massive. It's a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. It was, I think, £43, so it is quite pricey for a palette, but it is branded as a mid to luxury brand. And then inside the palette there is 10 shades, and what I can say is each pan is quite big. It's quite a decent size. So a normal palette, I would say they're a lot smaller than this, so they are quite a decent. As you can see, it's all very neutral, what you would class as, for me, everyday kind of wear, but there is a lot of this where you can ramp it up and make real grungy looks out of it, which is what I'm going to try and create today. Also there is a mirror on the other side of the palette. No! Well, that's not good, is it? One of the pans just fell out. Yeah, there is a mirror on the other side of the palette, which is what I'm going to be using to do my eye makeup. It has been advertised that that is what we can do, so you should be able to fold it back on itself and then use that as the pan to do your eye makeup. So we're going to be giving that a whirl today. One thing I will say is I have seen on quite a few people's reviews that they've had things falling out, so that obviously when you're paying that kind of money for a palette, it's not the best when something's falling out before you've even used it or opened it. But nevertheless, we'll persevere with it and we'll give it a go. In fact, I'm just going to take that out while I'm doing this because I don't want it falling again. So we'll just crack on and I'll see what we can get with. So I think to start off with, I'm going to take the shade Buff, which is this kind of dark mustardy colour. And I'm going to take that. There's quite a lot of fallout from these as well. And I'm going to try and just work that into the crease. Oh, it's quite pigmented. It's quite pigmented, yeah. So I'm going to try and just work that in and take that right up. Now, for anyone that knows me or that's followed me on Instagram for a while, they will know that I've been a huge fan of Jamie Genevieve, whose collection this is, for a number of years. So for me, this was like long awaited. I think all of her kind of followers and fans have been wanting this for a long time. And this first drop, the Essential Collection, is very Jamie. It's very neutrals, grungy, buildable, very Jamie. It was what I was kind of expecting. I think it's a good palette in the way that it can be built up and it can suit a lot of different people. So if you're wanting something more neutral, there's a lot of neutral tones in here to kind of do a very basic everyday look. But for makeup lovers and people that want something a bit more out there, or if you're going on a night out or something, it's buildable, and there's a lot of different ways you can wear it. So I mean, the shades are pigmented. There is a lot of fallout in the pan, but they are blending. They're very blendable, buildable. I just went in with Cozy, which is kind of this burgundy shade, on top then, and took that up. I'm going to take Goodnight, which is the black shade, and I'm going to get a smaller brush for that and just build that in the outer corner and the crease. Sorry, I've got a mirror over here as well. The thing I like about this black is she's obviously marketed it that it is a buildable black. So blacks are notoriously hard to work with. Once they're on, and the blendability of them isn't always great. So I know one thing with watching some other people's reviews and watching Jamie's videos and stuff, she's tried to create a black that is more buildable and more wearable. So that is something that obviously is quite hard to do. And then I'm going to go back in with my bigger brush in a minute and just buff that. Oh yeah, it just takes a minute to kind of work that into the crease. It is blending out, so I'm just taking a minute to just try and blend that in to give it more of a grungy look. I think it's one of these, I sit down to do these kind of looks and I never really think about what I'm gonna do. I just kind of go for it, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, so just bear with me. Trust the process, that's what we have to say, isn't it? Trust the process. I'm just gonna build that a bit more in the outer corner. I mean, right now I just kind of look hella crazy, don't I? I'm gonna take a tiny bit of chow, which is this yellowy colour. I'm just going to try blend that right up to the brow and then bring that out. I'm just going to try and wipe away some of this fallout. We've gone quite dark on top, so I'm going to try and do a bit of a cut crease. I'm going to use my P. Louise base. I've got this in the shade Rumour. Use this. So I'm just using a small brush and I'm just going in. Does anyone else pull their faces when they're trying to get their eyeshadows out? Same with mascara, I'm terrible. I'm going to bring that about halfway across. Right, and then I think we will go in with Carrot, which is this nice shiny, but it is a pressed pigment, so you don't need to go in hard on it, because that's when you start getting clumps and clumps of it. And just take that right up to the crease. I think we need to just blend slightly this black back in. So if we just take a smaller brush and then just push against the grain of the pigment. What I will say is there is quite a lot of fallout on the face from the pigment, obviously because it's a pressed pigment. So you just want to make sure you've powdered your face underneath before you've done this, so you can just wipe it off, hopefully. I mean, I feel like I'm getting ready for a Christmas party. Not that I'm going anywhere, but it's giving me that kind of like Christmassy little black dress vibe. And that's one thing I think this palette is really good for. I can imagine coming up to Christmas, there's a lot of kind of warm toned colours that you can make some really nice winter Christmassy makeup looks with. I do like this mirror being on the back of the palette. I think that is great. The only thing that's kind of a bit is the fact that there is so much fallout. So every time you're doing this with your palette, like, you are chucking that fallout everywhere. You're going away for the weekend, you're taking this palette with you. The fact that it's got the mirror on the back, and it is such a decent sized mirror, like from here I can see my whole face. So that is good for me. Like, I would like that. So this, I feel like it's a good medium sized palette. So you've got good sized pans, a good sized mirror, and it's still small enough and compact enough to take with you if you was going away, or just wanting to put it in your handbag if you like me and have a big handbag that you take everywhere with you. Most of the fallout has come off, but just in this inner corner bit here I can see where it's kind of the pigment's gone into my skin, so I'll just touch that up with some concealer or something at the end. It's not a big issue. That the black has come off, which is the main thing. It's just the pigment, obviously the shimmers and stuff that stick into my skin. But like I said, I can touch that up with some concealer. That's no big deal. So, I mean, so far I like the intensity of the black. I like the buildability of the black, and I like how good the pressed pigment is. I like the fact that it is true to pan. So putting it on my eyes from the pan, I know what I'm getting. Right, so underneath I'm going to try and go in with Chow, which is this mustardy yellow colour. And I'm going to take that right in the lower lash line, right across. I want to put a tiny bit of Cozy, which is this red shade. Right, and then I'm going to go back in with Goodnight, which is the black, and I'm going to just go right into these corners and just drag that under to really give that corner that definition. And then I'm just going to bring that up, and then I'm just going to use that first brush we went in with, the bigger fluffy brush, and I just want to blend that right out to give that real smoke. I mean, if we haven't told by now, I'm going full on like grungy glam, and at the minute I'm going full on grungy glam to walk to my living room. What else is there to do in lockdown, let's be honest? I mean, I think my child's going to wake up and be like, Mum, what have you got on your face? But in 2020, there is no rules. Take Chow and just see if I can really just bring this yellow up to really give that blown out amber smoke. I never know where to start. I mean, for me, I'm like, the bigger the better. This is how much space I've got to work with. This is how much space I'm going to use. Right, so this is where we're at. So I think what I'm going to do now, a tiny bit more of my P. Louise base. Go right in the corner and just in the tear duct. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Glimmer to give that inner corner pop. So I'm just going to drag that up into the gold to blend that, and then I'm going to drag it round into the yellow. I'm just going to go off camera. I'm going to put a slight bit of eyeliner just over the gold through to the black, just to give that line. I'm going to stick some lashes on, and I'm just going to fix under my eye, and then I'll come back and give you my final verdict.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I've gone away, I've put some eyeliner on, I've put some lashes on. I definitely think it feels more put together now. Overall, I would say the eyeshadow palette, I'm impressed with the size, I'm impressed with the pigments, I'm impressed with the size of the pans. I like the mirror, and I like the packaging that it comes in. I was a little disappointed that this guy fell out before I'd even used the palette, because obviously when you're spending £43 on a palette, you want it to be good quality. You don't expect things like that to be happening, so that's a little disappointing. I think it's a good grungy palette, it's good for the winter season. It's definitely something that you can create more everyday looks, more neutral looks, and more heavy grungy glam looks. What I am going to try and do is, just because I've just topped up my concealer, I've kind of gone over my highlight and stuff. So I'm just going to try and use a bit of this. Oh yeah, that is really pigmented. And use some of this just as a little bit of a highlight. And just rub that in and just see if I can... Yeah, see, for me that's what I like about shades like this. So it's like it cuts down. If you were going away every weekend, it cuts down what you've got to take, so you don't need to take a highlighter as well as this palette. You can just, for the sake of a weekend, you could just use this palette. The shade Glimmer I just used as a highlight, and I think that's really cute. I'm just going to take the tiniest bit on a little tiny brush and use that on my Cupid's bow. I say a tiny bit, and then she goes in with loads. I love highlight. I also picked up a lip liner and a lipstick from the collection. So I got the lip liner in the shade Brat, and I got the lipstick in the shade Vieve. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give these a whirl to give me a nice nude lip to finish this look off. So I'm just going to go in with the shade Brat on my lips. See, now for me, I picked these together because when the collection was coming out, these were paired together. and one of the looks on the website, and I knew I wanted like a really light kind of 90s nude, which Vieve was the lightest nude. But for me, this lip liner it's a bit pinky. It's not quite dark enough for what I like. So I'm just going to go over with my own. This is a Barry M lip liner in the shade Chocolate. So I'm just going to darken this up slightly. I think she did have a darker lip liner in the collection, so if you're looking to get something, just go back in and get the darker. For me, I would get the darker one. Again, that's personal preference. And then I'm just going to go in with the lipstick in the shade Vieve. What I will say is this lipstick is gorgeous. It's so creamy and it smells really buttery and really like coconutty, really nice. Just smells, it's really moisturising. It's like, it dries as a matte, but it's not a matte. It's like a really soft, creamy matte. And the packaging on these lipsticks is insane. So you've got, it's like leather with gold, and it's got the V on the top for the Vieve. Just really luxurious. And then I'm just going to go in and just give that a little blend with my finger. Right, so there we go. This is a full face, the Vieve collection, the Essentials collection. I would say it's good. I'm a big fan of Jamie, so I was always going to think it was good. I like my grungy makeup, I like my heavy makeup, I like my dark makeup. So for me, this palette is ideal. Slightly pricey, but you get what you pay for. She's branding it as a luxury brand, so I kind of expected it to be up there with the more expensive palettes. Overall, I think for me, this would be a nice kind of going out for drinks. Obviously, at the minute, it's a go to Tesco look. But hopefully, in the not too near future, it'll be a going out look. This was my get ready to go nowhere look, and my thoughts on the new Vieve Essential palette. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. This is only my second video, so please bear with me. I'm still learning. But if you like what you see, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and any feedback would be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!